authority payroll, Russ. Russ, I fit in this small just good, don't I?
Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Stoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You'll immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily, use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Stoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh every day. Combine all that on the crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites you'll say, "Oh my, what a pizza pie!" Stoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. Hey folks, every now and then we're a little tight on cash. Well, if you're tight on cash, we want to encourage you to visit Pawn Max Incorporated, located at 2404 Pinona Avenue. Pawn Max is the place to get a loan or sell your valuables, hassle-free, making it easy to turn your unwanted gold, jewelry, tools, even firearms into cash. Why let your pieces collect dust when you need to collect dollars? They're licensed and insured and will give you the best money for your items. Go visit them today at 2404 Pinona Avenue right here in Macon, or visit them online at pawnmaxinc.com. It's football time in Middle Georgia, and that means it's time for the Macon Touchdown Club. Join us this year as we kick off our 72nd year at the Methodist Children's Home at 304 Pierce Avenue each and every Monday night. Come join us for a night filled of football fun and fellowship. We kick it off September the 11th. The Macon Touchdown Club, honoring student athletes since 1946. To find out more, log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com. Hey folks, it's Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. You know, there comes a time when we all start to look for a brand new or even a newer automobile, and as a consumer, your choices have always been limited as to where to shop, and secondly, what to do with your current car. Take it to the local dealer and trade it in for wholesale, ride around town with that ugly for sale sign in the back window, or park it in your driveway and hope somebody stops by and they're really there to look at your car. Well, that's where the fine folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue in Macon come in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For almost 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the alternative to giving your car away to the local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market the car yourself. The professional staff at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has 35 years of experience in the automobile industry, and they're there solely to help you through the process of selling or buying your next car. If you have a car and you're ready to sell it, let the folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em show you how to maximize your vehicle's marketing and financial potential today. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, the car lot for you. Remember folks, don't just park it, sell it. Give them a call today, 478-254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority, now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
I've always wanted this. You have too. It's waiting to be unleashed.
It's in all of us. You just have to find it. Greatness. It's where your dreams and passions become a reality.
Greatness is where your hard work and dedication pay off. Greatness. It's shaped
Hey folks, every now and then we're a little tight on cash. Well, if you're tight on cash, we want to encourage you to visit Pawn Max Incorporated, located at 2404 Pinona Avenue. Pawn Max is the place to get a loan or sell your valuables, hassle-free, making it easy to turn your unwanted gold, jewelry, tools, even firearms into cash. Why let your pieces collect dust when you need to collect dollars? They're licensed and insured and will give you the best money for your items. Go visit them today at 2404 Pinona Avenue right here in Macon, or visit them online at pawnmaxinc.com. It's football.
Miss our beer, don't we? Hey.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hello.
I'm a little late getting to the game here.
Yeah.
All right, welcome in. It's another Thursday night at Gridiron Gab. We are live at Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road, and I'm not for sure if our voice is going out there or not, and maybe it is. But, hey, guys, can you hear the speakers? Hello.
Hey,
Dimitri.
Can y'all hear that speaker out there?
Can y'all hear us? Or not hear us?
Can you hear us talking out here?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
can?
Thanks. He's a little slow,
Through
but
the
he'll
speaker,
get.
you can hear it? Okay, all right, good.
All right, he's good to go now. So we're I guess we're live inside here. At any rate, it's a Thursday night at Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. I am Russell Deese. This is John Corson, back
sir.
from the dead. He only showed up because Georgia got back to the #1 ranking, I assure you.
Yeah.
But we're glad to have you with us. It's another Thursday night. We're going to talk college football with you here tonight. But before that, we want to let you know what our Gridiron Gab Pick'em contest this week is. We had a game last week, which was Georgia and Florida. Congratulations to last week's winner, which was Mike Owens. He won the prize package, and now he qualifies for the grand prize this year, which is, let me go over those with you one more time. First of all, you're going to get your choice of acoustic or electric guitar provided by Bill Harden Music. Second of all, you're going to win a pumped 12-gauge shotgun for home defense and an AR-15. And you're going to win a $1,000 Big Granny Egg Smoker from Cherokee Brick and Tile. So we got some great prizes this year. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to do a pick'em contest every week all the way through the SEC championship game. Then we're going to go to 2 playoff games and the national championship games. Every time you win, your name goes in the hat. That qualifies you. So if you win 3 or 4 times, we've already got two-time winners this year already, and that's Russ Campbell and David Keys. And then we've got some other one-time winners, John. Mm-hmm. And so everybody's name's going in the hat, and at the end of the year, after the national championship game, we're going to come back and we're going to draw the winner live right here at Stoner's Pizza. We want to thank our sponsors for the Pick'em contest. Of course, Apparel Authority, the official clothier of DSBN Sport. Got some great hats and shirts and T-shirts that we give away every week. We also have gift cards from Stoner's Pizza, Kudzu Seafood, Texas Border Grill, Moe's, and the new Freddy's. And, yeah, Ray Yarborough finally got that place opened up after a lot of red tape and some weather that slowed him down. But went up there to eat Halloween night. It was very good. So y'all go over and check Freddy's out. But don't tarry too long because you want to come right here and get some pizzas and wings with our good friend Charlie Crowley. And we'll be talking to Charlie later on in the segment. All right, John, it's a big weekend in college football again. What we're going to do is we're going to take our first break of the night. All right. And we come back. We're going to look back at last week before we get into this week's games. Once again, the Pick'em contest is LSU at Alabama. You want to pick the winner and the score without going over. Your calls tonight at 478-550-0524. We're going to talk about the big victory for the Georgia Bulldogs in the cocktail party last weekend and look ahead to this week as well. We'll be back after this timeout. We're going to scoot away and make the commercials play. We'll be right back. It's football time in Middle Georgia, and that means it's time for the Macon Touchdown Club. Join us this year as we kick off our 72nd year at the Methodist Children's Home at 304 Pierce Avenue each and every Monday night. Come join us for a night filled of football fun and fellowship. We kick it off September the 11th. The Macon Touchdown Club, honoring student athletes since 1946. To find out more, log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com. Hey folks, it's Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. You know, there comes a time when we all start to look for a brand new or even a newer automobile, and as a consumer, your choices have always been limited as to where to shop, and secondly, what to do with your current car. Take it to the local dealer and trade it in for wholesale, ride around town with that ugly for sale sign in the back window, or park it in your driveway and hope somebody stops by and they're really there to look at your car. Well, that's where the fine folks at You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue in Macon come in. You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For almost 18 years, You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em has been the alternative to giving your car away to the local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market the car yourself. The professional staff at You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em has 35 years of experience in the automobile industry, and they're there solely to help you through the process of selling or buying your next car. If you have a car and you're ready to sell it, let the folks at You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em show you how to maximize your vehicle's marketing and financial potential today. You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em, the car lot for you. Remember folks, don't just park it, sell it. Give them a call today, 478-254-6310. That's You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority, now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
I've always wanted this. You have too. It's waiting to be unleashed.
It's in all of us. You just have to find it. Greatness. It's where your dreams and passions become reality.
Greatness is where your hard work and dedication pay off.
Greatness. It's shaking hands with your future. Middle Georgia State University. Find your greatness.
This just in. A large storm in the Gulf has all but decimated the entire Gulf shrimping industry, with the exception of a lone shrimping boat manned by a legless veteran and a young gentleman that hasn't stopped waving at our cameras or telling us his mama's advice. Odd. In completely unrelated news, Kudzu Seafood Company, the authentic Gulf Coast seafood restaurant that brought the coast to Middle Georgia, has also cornered the shrimp market in Central Georgia. Barbecue shrimp and cheese grits, buffalo shrimp, firecracker shrimp tacos, shrimp po' boys, shrimp burgers, shrimp baskets, and Dr. Pepper, all on 3rd Street in downtown Macon. Stay tuned for more breaking news.
Join us Monday night at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue as the Macon Touchdown Club continues its 72nd season of honoring student athletes. Our program will begin at 6:30 with our dinner soon to follow. Our guest speaker this week is none other than former University of Georgia All-American and ESPN analyst Matt Stitzcomb. That's Monday night, November the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home. It's the Macon Touchdown Club. We'll see you on Monday night. For more information, just log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com.
Oh my, what a pizza pie! Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Stoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You'll immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily, use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Stoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh every day. Combine all that on the crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie! Stoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
Planning on a
I was wondering where my pen was, and now I know. Okay, welcome back to Gridiron Gab on a Thursday night. We are live here at Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. Glad to have you with us. Don't forget our pick'em contest tonight is Alabama and LSU. We're going to take a look back at last week's scores as well as what we've got coming up this week. And we got to pull back up and see what happened last week so we can have those scores. And I finally got him. And, of course, we're not going to go any further without welcoming in Charles Crowley, the owner here of Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. Okay, so Auburn and Alabama off last week. Get ready for this week. We'll get into that. Last week it was Arkansas 38-37. It was Vanderbilt falling to South Carolina 34-27. Missouri got on the right side of things 52-12 over UConn. Mississippi State buried Texas A&M. And the mighty Tennessee Vols on the banks of the Tennessee River at the house that General Neyland built fell 29-26. And another nail in the coffin of Butch Jones. But why aren't they pulling the trigger on this?
Do not ask me. It's got to be hurting recruiting.
Okay, so it's hurting recruiting. But if you're a recruit out there, you know he's gone, right?
Yeah.
So why aren't they pulling the trigger?
I could not tell you on that. It's not a very smart decision in my.
Especially now with the early commitments that can come that first week of December.
Exactly.
Now, here's the other thing about Butch Jones. The Florida Gators fired Jim McElwain, who went 14-2 in the East in 2 years, back-to-back East championships. He was 3-3. Now he's 3-4 at Florida, and he's gone. Does that put pressure on Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arkansas, depending on what happens with Auburn in the next few weeks? Does that put pressure on them to go ahead and make a move before the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it does, but I think like maybe Texas A&M, they're going to they're not going to pull the trigger unless they know they got a really high-profile guy coming in.
Right.
As far as the other programs, they should probably just go ahead and pull the plug.
Yeah, I don't understand why they haven't. Why Tennessee is waiting. The only thing I can figure is it's got to do something with the buyout, and I can't seem to figure that out. Why they won't do anything, and why they haven't done anything as of yet. Arkansas kind of saves themselves a little bit. They get a come-from-behind victory to beat Ole Miss 38-37, which surprised some folks, including me. I didn't see that coming. I thought Ole Miss was up by 21-24 points in that game and let them come back.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for a new coach as well.
Well, Ole Miss, sure, we all knew that the guy that was there was going to be interim. Okay, this week on the schedule, UMass goes to Mississippi State. Who cares? Florida and Missouri, interesting there. What's going to happen? Are the Gators going to go out there and win a game, or has Missouri found their feet?
I think the Gators will win a game.
Okay. Well, Missouri has played better the last 3 weeks. They actually played better starting in the Georgia game. It's the first game of the year they, outside of the opener against the Cream Puff they played, that they've been able to move the football. And they've done a little better since then.
I still don't see it happening.
So Florida, Malik Zaire, the transfer from Notre Dame now, is going to get the start for the Gators. Maybe he goes up there and makes a difference in that game. What do you think?
We'll see. I kind of like that Felipe Franks a little better, actually, when I watched him. But, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I just don't think they have enough talent to take care of
Florida.
Yeah.
All right, that's on ESPN2 at 12 o'clock. The other 12 o'clock game on ESPNU is Western Kentucky at Vanderbilt. The SEC Network has number 16 Mississippi State at 12 o'clock. They're taking on UMass. They ought to whack them pretty good. The other 12 o'clock game, Auburn and Texas A&M. Auburn had a week off, bye week. They're ranked number 14 in the country right now. Injury bug has hit them again with their big running back Cam Petway after being back for 1 week. Auburn and A&M. Should Auburn be on upset alert going to College Station?
I would say so, but I think they'll end up pulling it off, and that might put the nail in the coffin for
Kevin Sumlin.
Yep.
We'll see. That'll be a game we'll talk a little bit more tonight with John as well. The 3:30 kickoff on CBS, that is going to be Georgia and South Carolina. Don't see much of a game there. I think maybe South Carolina, because they throw the football pretty well, may be a team that could get a few points on Georgia this weekend.
Yeah, they'll probably get. I mean, Muschamp does a good job of coaching them up. I don't believe they have near the talent.
Or the athletes, right? Sure.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be able to overcome that unless Georgia has a bunch of turnovers or something.
All right, Kentucky and Ole Miss, kind of a must-win game. Back to Kentucky now. They're praying for a miracle with Georgia. Georgia'd have to lose out for Kentucky to have a chance. Georgia's got in the conference Auburn, Kentucky, and South Carolina left. That's a must-win for them, I think.
Yeah, I think to continue to build that program and get it and keep it rolling like he's got it, that you've got to start winning these what would be in my a gimme game.
Yeah, and you got to be a little Stoops has got to be a little disappointed in the game, the Mississippi State game especially. To go down there and to lose to Mississippi State as bad as they did. Arkansas plays Coastal Carolina. Who cares? That's 4 o'clock on the SEC Network. 7:30, Southern Miss and Tennessee. What if the Golden Eagles go to Knoxville and beat him? They may hang him right there outside Neyland Stadium. Alabama and LSU is the 8 o'clock game on CBS. It's the Gridiron Gab Pick'em contest this week. All right, give me your thoughts on this. Here's an interesting scenario in this. Since Nick Saban's been there, they played 11 football games, including the 07 game. It's a 3-8 series, but they have been some awfully close games, and I know a lot of people have picked this game kind of in a blowout. I don't have my notes here in front of me. These games have been awful close, and recently they have been awful close.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see on this. Ogeron looks like he's got them playing better. But it's 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I kind of agree with you. The history of this game says that's not the case. But everybody if they look at LSU, the loss to Troy, they changed their season with a come-behind win against Auburn, and they played pretty well since then.
Yeah.
But once again, I don't have any confidence in their offensive side of the football.
Exactly, and I think that's what's going to end up doing them in the second half. They're going to just start getting to the quarterback, Alabama is, and then from there on out, it's going to go downhill.
All right, so give me your pick in this one.
35-14, Alabama.
35-14, Alabama. Okay, so our Stoner's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week tomorrow night is the Stratford Academy Eagles. That'll be live from the Eagles Nest at 7:15 pregame as the Stratford Eagles try to go and finish up a perfect season as they'll take on 6-3 Aquinas in the crossover game, and this will have big implications in the playoffs down the road. And so we'll be there live. Kickoff is at 7:30 for the Stoner's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. All right, anything special going on this week we need to know about at Stoner's Pizza?
Call and order a lot of pizza. We need to sell pizza, okay?
Tailgate time tomorrow night. Let's get it done.
There you go. I guess y'all be eating it at the game.
Oh, you know we will. You know we will. All right, when we come back, we'll bring in John Corson. We'll look back at last week's games with him, and we'll get started on this week in the Southeastern Conference and look around a little bit at the ACC as well. It's Gridiron Gab on a Thursday night live from Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. Your calls tonight in our Pick'em contest, Alabama and LSU, as the Bayou Bengals travel to the Capstone to take on the mighty Crimson Tide in the process of Nick Saban. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get it rolling in just a minute. We'll be back.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself.
Oh my, what a pizza pie! Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Stoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You'll immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily, use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Stoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh every day. Combine all that on the crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie! Stoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. Hey folks, every now and then we're a little tight on cash. Well, if you're tight on cash, we want to encourage you to visit Pawn Max Incorporated, located at 2404 Pinona Avenue. Pawn Max is the place to get a loan or sell your valuables, hassle-free, making it easy to turn your unwanted gold, jewelry, tools, even firearms into cash. Why let your pieces collect dust when you need to collect dollars? They're licensed and insured and will give you the best money for your items. Go visit them today at 2404 Pinona Avenue right here in Macon, or visit them online at pawnmaxinc.com. It's football time in Middle Georgia, and that means it's time for the Macon Touchdown Club. Join us this year as we kick off our 72nd year at the Methodist Children's Home at 304 Pierce Avenue each and every Monday night. Come join us for a night filled of football fun and fellowship. We kick it off September the 11th. The Macon Touchdown Club, honoring student athletes since 1946. To find out more, log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com. Hey folks, it's Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. You know, there comes a time when we all start to look for a brand new or even a newer automobile, and as a consumer, your choices have always been limited as to where to shop, and secondly, what to do with your current car. Take it to the local dealer and trade it in for wholesale, ride around town with that ugly for sale sign in the back window, or park it in your driveway and hope somebody stops by and they're really there to look at your car. Well, that's where the fine folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue in Macon come in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For almost 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the alternative to giving your car away to the local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market the car yourself. The professional staff at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has 35 years of experience in the automobile industry, and they're there solely to help you through the process of selling or buying your next car. If you have a car and you're ready to sell it, let the folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em show you how to maximize your vehicle's marketing and financial potential today. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, the car lot for you. Remember folks, don't just park it, sell it. Give them a call today, 478-254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority, now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
This just in. A large storm in the Gulf has all but decimated the entire Gulf shrimping industry, with the exception of a lone shrimping boat manned by a legless veteran and a young gentleman that hasn't stopped waving at our cameras or telling us his mama's advice. Odd. In completely unrelated news, Kudzu Seafood Company, the authentic Gulf Coast seafood restaurant that brought the coast to Middle Georgia, has also cornered the shrimp market in Central Georgia. Barbecue shrimp and cheese grits, buffalo shrimp, firecracker shrimp tacos, shrimp po' boys, shrimp burgers, shrimp baskets, and Dr. Pepper, all on 3rd Street in downtown Macon. Stay tuned for more breaking news.
Join us Monday night at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue as the Macon Touchdown Club continues its 72nd season of honoring student athletes. Our program will begin at 6:30 with our dinner soon to follow. Our guest speaker this week is none other than former University of Georgia All-American and ESPN analyst Matt Stitzcomb. That's Monday night, November the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home. It's the Macon Touchdown Club. We'll see you on Monday night. For more information, just log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com. All right, welcome back. We are live at Stoner's Pizza. Let's turn it up so the folks can hear us out here in Neverland. We're live at Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road, Russell Dees, John Corson. Glad to have you back with us on a Thursday night, live from Stoner's Pizza. All right, so did you get something to eat, or, I mean, what were you doing, harassing the customers?
Russell, what I like about what Charlie has, Charlie has a great vegetable pizza, which works with my diet plan.
Right.
I talked to him. He made a great vegetable pizza. It's working great for my diet plan.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got some more news from Charlie, man.
Okay, let's hear it.
All these listeners out there, let me tell you something. Saturday, we got game day, college game day on Saturday. Charlie just gave me permission to say this, which I don't know how he's doing it because the guy just shoots so many pizzas out here. But anyway, if you call in on Saturday to get you a pizza for game day on Saturday, mention DSBN Sports, you'll get a free order of breadsticks. Folks, let me tell you something. These breadsticks ain't just a loaf of bread thrown out there. These guys know how to make them, buddy. They got some good garlic sauce, butter. It is very good, Russell. I'll tell you what, I might even slip by here and get me a little bit. Well, you know, I cheat every now and then on my diet.
Yeah, listen, if there's a guy on this set that knows anything about food, it's the two of us.
I guarantee you.
So you don't have to worry about not knowing about how to handle your food on Saturday. So go again. Once again, what Charlie's going to do on Saturday during college game day.
Hey, call in.
All right, now
college
game day now starts at 11 o'clock on ESPN, SEC Network.
Right.
Who else has got the early one? ESPN2. So you got we got 4 games at 12 o'clock. Auburn A&M, Mississippi State, UMass, Florida, Missouri, Western Kentucky, Vanderbilt. So just tune into the Auburn A&M game. That'll be the only one entertaining. The rest of them, well, Florida and Missouri may be because just the dynamics of that game.
Right.
But that if you do, call Stoners, and Charlie's going to give you what again?
He's going to give you a free order of breadsticks when you call in on the pizza. Folks, I tell you what, just order one an hour. Look, Charlie might even throw in a drink. Get you one each hour. They got several hours of football going on Saturday. Just call Charlie. Charlie will hook you up, and I promise you the pizza's good. If you're on a diet like me, get your vegetable pizza. It's great.
All right, starting Saturday, this is how it goes. I get off work usually around 1 or 2, close the office.
Do you even work?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you worked.
So I get there at 8 o'clock. While you're sleeping, I'm still trying to contribute to making America great again.
Right.
So then I'll get off. I'll go home, I'll turn the CBS game, whatever's on. I'll get there about 2:30. Give me an hour to get settled in. And then, so really, the TV's on at 12 at the office. Goes all the way to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning whenever we get through. I'm usually falling asleep watching something out on the West Coast. I don't know.
That TV over there.
Slippery.
You Parkham ain't on the 1 in the morning. I promise you.
Slippery Rock versus Fresno State or somebody like that. Okay, so before we go into this week, let's look back. And
Russell, give them that number of Stoners. They got to have that, baby. Everybody wants some breadsticks there. They need that number for
Well,
Stoners.
I need the Stoner's number because I don't have it in front of me.
Everybody knows where Stoners is, I promise you.
478. 254 4500
478
2500
254
2500. Okay.
Hey, that's easy enough to remember, y'all. I'll tell you what, 478-254-2500. Hey, I got that all day long.
Appreciate you throwing me under the bus on that phone number there.
I appreciate it, buddy. I got you. I got you every time. You got me.
All right, so let's look back at last week's games. Tennessee goes down to Kentucky in Knoxville. I asked Charlie this when we were in a discussion. Why has not Tennessee fired Butch Jones yet?
I think Tennessee
do they owe him some loyalty? They keep him till the end of the year?
Yeah, I think that too. And, Tennessee, by nature, they hadn't had a lot of coaches they've cut in the middle of the season, Russ. I know they have cut some.
That's kind of a newer trend now in college football. That never happened.
It is unless Georgia comes to town like they did in Florida, and then they just got to let you go. But anyway, other than that.
They still ain't let him go, though.
He's still getting the check. You're right.
He's still getting the check. He's still going to get a check.
He's going to get a check for long. So that'll be 2 of them getting checks.
Yeah.
Why didn't we coach?
Yeah, that's right.
Probably wasn't good enough. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Should have stayed in school, son.
Yeah, I know it.
But seriously, I mean, the rumors out there about John Gruden. I never understood this deal with John Gruden in Tennessee. He was there 1 year as an assistant coach, and I can't even remember who the coach was. Was it Fulmer or who was it before?
I think it was
Johnny
Fulmer,
Majors.
right after Majors. It was
Okay,
Fulmer, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, he's old enough. He could have been there with Johnny Majors at the end of his tenure, or with Phil Fulmer. He was only there a year, and he was assistant to an assistant.
Right, he was.
And then he moved on to the NFL, and that's where he made his claim to fame, as they say.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind too, Russell, and that is, folks listening to us, this is no disrespect at all to John Gruden. I like him and respect him very much as a coach. But if you look at his overall record, Russ, he's only 8 or 10 games over 500.
Right.
He won a Super Bowl, and he come in his second year and won a Super Bowl, and some of them players were his, some of them wasn't.
Right.
Nevertheless, I take nothing away from Gruden. I just don't see him leaving ESPN where he's somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 to $8.5 million annually to take a job for $10 million when his hours are going to quadruple if he takes over the Tennessee program. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, I know he's there and he's been to a couple of games, and I told somebody this. You know what? Literally, I think he's just messing with the fans. I don't think the guy is the highest paid personality on ESPN, folks.
And very good at that.
He makes a base salary of probably $3 to $5 million a year with endorsements and incentives. He's making $7,000 to $8,000 million a year. $10 million is a lot of money for a college football coach, even Nick Saban.
Oh yeah,
and he's the benchmark now at about $10 million. Why would Gruden leave a cushy job at ESPN to make that kind of money, $2 million more a year? Okay, that puts you in a higher tax bracket, so you're probably going to net $900,000 to $1.25 million. Me and you, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
To a guy making $8, $9, $10 million a year with endorsements, it doesn't make sense.
No, it don't.
You got to go coach 365 days a year. You've got to recruit 365 days a year. You got to kiss the rear end of the alumni 365 days a year. An AD and a president.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Only way I see Gruden, if he does that, unless he's just got that fire in him, and I think he's been offered other jobs the last several years. He does a phenomenal job with ESPN. He has pretty much a lifetime commitment with ESPN.
Right.
I don't see him doing it unless that fire is in him to coach, as it is in some coaches, and maybe it's just something with him being a graduate of Tennessee that he just wants to come back. But I don't see it, Russ. But there again, there's a lot of things I ain't seen that's happened, and you have too, and so – man, I think he stays where he's at. I think for his family and for the time he gets to spend with his wife and kids and family, I think he's got the job he wants. But, we never know what's going on. And I'm not so sure that Gruden was after that job as much as Tennessee was pursuing him.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, him showing up in Knoxville a couple of weeks in if you're Butch Jones and you're sitting there on the sideline and all the CBS or ESPN want to show is John Gruden arriving at the stadium, sitting in the stands with his wife. Why? Why are you there, John Gruden, other than to, number one, mess with the fans, and number two, maybe mess with Butch Jones a little bit?
Yeah, it could be that, too.
He's aware of it. I assure you
he's aware. And then Gruden's a very smart businessman. Let's don't overlook that, okay? He knows the fact that he's showing up in them stands is also – raising them boosters, and boosters have a lot to do with what gets paid. Even our buddy Charlie knows that over in Alabama with Nick Saban, who definitely one of the best coaches.
Well, here's one other angle that nobody's talking about. ESPN's made all these cuts across the board. They're bleeding subscribers. They lost 480,000 subscribers in the month of October alone. That's 15,000 subscribers a day.
Right.
They have had massive layoffs at ESPN. Maybe Gruden's going, hey, baby, I'm your man. You cut all this expenses. How about throwing Daddy a little more bone over here?
Hey, that's why. That's where it comes in how smart he is.
Because Tennessee show is, they kind of asking me, not really, and
he's weighing it.
I'm thinking about it, but I've got to worry. He's got to think. ESPN.
It may be a long-term contract he's looking for with ESPN by doing that.
Yeah. Hey, they got rid of Chris Berman. He was the voice of NFL for them. He's gone.
Yeah.
Now they got, who knows, some liberal arts professor from UMass on there.
Yeah, somebody from up north somewhere. Yeah. But Gruden, I'll promise you one thing about John Gruden, he's going to make the decision that's best for him and his family, but he's not going to sidestep an opportunity to be able to secure that financial backing.
Yeah, I got to thinking about that more this week. I think maybe he's working the angle. He's using Tennessee to get to ESPN to get some cash.
Absolutely, I believe that.
You know, I don't know. We'll see how it all washes out. Arkansas comes from behind, 20-something points down, maybe more than that, to Ole Miss. They kick a field goal and win it late. It's Bellama in Arkansas. You got to wonder if they've had enough. I mean, rumors have been out there. Former players have come on and said, we're done with this guy. Yeah. Arkansas, have you seen enough? He's got blowed out by Alabama. He got blowed out by Auburn. He got blowed out by Mississippi State. I don't know. Are they going to stick with him? Is the buyout too much? Where does Arkansas go for a coach now?
Well, Russ, I don't know that they're going to do anything with him right yet. Let's take aside Alabama, okay, because of the team they are. How many teams don't get blowed out by Alabama? Honestly, I'm talking about on the second tier teams, and I consider Arkansas a second or a third year tier team.
Right.
Okay, so they're going to get blowed out. I think that the Mississippi State game, that was pretty tough for them to handle, and they may not like that by no means, and I'm sure none of the fans.
And they looked really bad against Ole Miss for 3 quarters.
Yeah, they
really bad.
And
Ole Miss is not a very good football team.
No, they're not a very good football team, but at the same saying, I mean, I know Auburn's down a little bit this year, and I know it's your team, but it's still the same. Auburn has a great front seven on both sides of the ball. They have not, between the injuries, we've got an injury now to talk about later on, between the injuries with Auburn, but them losing to Auburn, Arkansas losing to Auburn, to me, it'd be a wonderful win for the program, but let's face it, I don't see Arkansas in the same tier as Alabama is, okay?
Right.
Or even Auburn, by no means.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
Wait a minute, baby. We're number 14 in the country. We lost to number 1 by 6 points, and a 2-point loss to LSU that we had.
Yeah, but I'm so used to handling teams in the top 5 because my dogs are up at the top. So I mean, I don't really look anything below 5. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
listen, y'all gonna have to load up on some serious Prozac and alcohol if y'all get beat.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's good. Don't be around the Pickling building if Georgia gets beat because they'll be jumping off right and left.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. But, all right, so let's move on to all that. Alabama was off last week. Missouri, nobody cares. They're terrible this year. Kentucky, they've blown their opportunities.
Right.
They've got Ole Miss this week. All right, let's go back and look at last week because Alabama and Auburn was off. Georgia and Florida. Kind of what we expecting going on in the cocktail party. We talked that during the week that week. Yeah. You and I both probably thought 41. I picked it 41-13. It was 42-7. So I know you were nervous just because of the history of the game.
Oh yeah, I mean 21 out of 26 times they beat us. I mean, naturally I'm gonna be nervous. And and as a Georgia fan, me speaking personally, I don't think that's a win that everybody needs to get really hyped on because I don't think. Well, obviously, I know Florida's not the team that Florida's been in the past.
Right.
By no means. But
well, John, you and I talked about this. Between the 9 suspension and 12 or 13 or 11, 10, 11, 12 guys that were hurt, I mean, they basically ran on the field with the Division II numbers and scholarships stressed out.
Yeah.
But I think more damage was done to Florida by his press conference on Monday claiming the death threats. Then Florida, the University of Florida coming out and saying, we have nothing further to add to the incident.
Right.
In other words, our coach lied to us.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, out of the AD, rumors are swirling out of the university. This is inside the university before the game on Saturday that they're exploring a buyout with his agent, Jimmy Sexton. That's a huge disservice to that coach, regardless of what happened on Monday.
Yeah, it is a huge disservice to the coach. But To the team. But I'll say this much, Russell. As a player in college football, the only thing you have is to believe in your coach.
Right.
Because the coach instills in the players. A good coach does what? He elevates the players and gets the best out of them.
Right. Sure.
When you know that he's lying, not to take, not to rub it in, but when you know he's lying.
But that came from the administration.
Yeah, that didn't come from us. Yeah.
I don't think the players believe that about McElwain. I think the players bought in within reason to their coach. But by Friday and Saturday morning, when you're hearing this about your coach, How can you have your head screwed on right for a football game against the number 5 team, 4 team in the country?
Well, yeah, and, there's also speculations. I don't know. There was also speculations that, him and his wife and him were out eating Thursday night, and there was a Nebraska hat sitting on the table in front of him that was a picture of. Who knows if that's true or not true, but that was a speculation.
That came from a Georgia fan.
Well, yeah, probably so. Of course, they gave us enough to go on when they were tweeting on the tweeter for us, but
idiots.
But yeah, anybody. I'll tell you, that's one thing I don't think you'll see. You definitely won't see it come from Nick Saban team. I don't think you'll see it from Auburn, and you won't see it come from Kirby Smart team. Is that you're not going to give the other team anything to help build them on or to help make them hungry on.
You simply cannot do that in the Southeastern Conference. It's insane to do it. So. To quickly talk about the game that you saw on Saturday, Georgia continued to do what they do. They played mistake-free offense for the most part. They struggled running the ball a little bit, but they were running against a better front in what Florida had. They had the big long run by Sony Michel. I thought Florida's defense really stepped up in the third quarter against the run, but Jake Fromm did what he's done this year as a starter. He ain't making mistakes, John. He's not trying to have a 350-yard passing effect. Kirby's not going to let him do that, and neither is Chaney, the offensive coordinator. But the kid ain't making mistakes, and that's what you want. And that's what Jalen Hurts did last year for Alabama. He didn't make mistakes during the regular season.
No, he didn't. And, and let's keep in mind, too, you're not seeing Fromm throw a lot. I think he's throwing 7 or 8 times a game, maybe 10.
He's turned a little bit more than that in some games.
But let's don't
Why
forget.
the hell throw it when you can run like that?
Yeah, but not only that, let's don't forget some of the passes he's made. He's made some great passes. I think, Kirby's a smart guy. He learned under one of the best for 10 years at Alabama, if not the best. And, I don't think he's showing everything that he needs to show. I think the boy can throw, but nevertheless, he's not going to let a freshman quarterback hurt him in games that he don't need to. But I think you'll see as this season winds down. You won't see it much with South Carolina because they're not going to give them the chance to do it. You may see a little bit with Auburn, but as the season goes, you'll see that this kid who will make some mistakes, but he has an arm on him and he knows how to throw it. But they're not allowing him to because as long as you can run it, there's no need in throwing it all the time. But when you start playing tougher competition like Auburn and Alabama, then you're going to have to open up some of the passing game a little bit in order to back the linebackers up so that the run works because – with Chubbs, as you said, he didn't have a lot of running early. Sony Michel gets to the hole quicker and broke off some pretty good runs. And then Chubbs was more effective in the second half a little bit in the second quarter. But as they open up the passing game more, because this kid can throw it, but he will make some mistakes because he is a freshman. But every game that they're not allowing him to make the freshman mistakes is more confidence he's getting. But I'll assure you, if it ain't happening this week, it's going to be definitely happening next week and the weeks after as they'll open up in practice because Georgia's practicing 5 days a week with pads. Mark Richt run a pro-style offense where you run the pads for once, maybe 2 times a week.
Right.
Kirby's running it 5 days a week. They were in pads in Florida on Friday and hitting first string against first string. So I think you'll see him start throwing more. And there will be some mistakes why he throws more, but I think the kid's got the arm to do it. It'll just maybe more controlled passes, 6 or 8 yard passes, 10-yard passes.
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to get your calls, 478-550-0524. Russell East, John Corson sitting in with us tonight. We'll get your calls. We'll talk about the Dogs in South Carolina. We'll talk about the Dogs and the Gators. It's behind you now. You can look back on it. You've kind of got a little bit of revenge on the Gators, but it's time to move on.
Let's don't look back no more. Let's move forward. Our big games are coming up.
Move forward, but don't look forward.
No, don't look forward. Move forward to the game that's up next.
Absolutely. Okay, so when we come back, we'll get your calls for 478-550-0524. We'll be back after this timeout.
Well, I didn't know how long until he got over there, so I'm just kind of holding in there a minute.
Palmex Incorporated, located at 2404 Pinona Avenue. Palmex is the place to get a loan or sell your valuables. Hassle-free, making it easy to turn your unwanted gold, jewelry, tools, even firearms into cash. Why let your pieces collect dust when you need to collect dollars? They're licensed and insured and will give you the best money for your items. Go visit them today at 2404 Pinona Avenue, right here in Macon, or visit them online at pawnmaxinc.com. It's football time in Middle Georgia, and that means it's time for the Macon Touchdown Club. Join us this year as we kick off our 72nd year at the Methodist Children's Home at 304 Pierce Avenue each and every Monday night. Come join us for a night filled of football fun and fellowship. We kick it off September the 11th. The Macon Touchdown Club, honoring student athletes since 1946. To find out more, log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com.
Hey folks, it's Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. You know, there comes a time when we all start to look for a brand new or even a newer automobile, and as a consumer, your choices have always been limited as to where to shop, and secondly, what to do with your current car. Take it to the local dealer and trade it in for wholesale, ride around town with that ugly for sale sign in the back window, or park it in your driveway and hope somebody stops by and they're really there to look at your car. Well, that's where the fine folks at U Park 'em, You Sell 'em at 3306 Vineville Avenue in Macon come in. U Park 'em, You Sell 'em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For almost 18 years, U Park 'em, You Sell 'em has been the alternative to giving your car away to the local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market the car yourself. The professional staff at U Park 'em, You Sell 'em has 35 years of experience in the automobile industry, and they're there solely to help you through the process of selling or buying your next car. If you have a car and you're ready to sell it, let the folks at U Park 'em, You Sell 'em show you how to maximize your vehicle's marketing and financial potential today. U Park 'em, You Sell 'em, the car lot for you. Remember folks, don't just park it, sell it. Give them a call today, 478-254-6310. That's U Park 'em, You Sell 'em.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority, now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
This just in. A large storm in the Gulf has all but decimated the entire Gulf shrimping industry, with the exception of a lone shrimping boat manned by a legless veteran and a young gentleman that hasn't stopped waving at our cameras or telling us his mama's advice. Odd. In completely unrelated news, Kudzu Seafood Company, the authentic Gulf Coast seafood restaurant that brought the coast to Middle Georgia, has also cornered the shrimp market in Central Georgia. Barbecue shrimp and cheese grits, buffalo shrimp, firecracker shrimp tacos, shrimp po' boys, shrimp burgers, shrimp baskets, and Dr. Pepper, all on 3rd Street in downtown Macon. Stay tuned for more breaking news.
Join us Monday night at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue as the Macon Touchdown Club continues its 72nd season of honoring student athletes. Our program will begin at 6:30 with our dinner soon to follow. Our guest speaker this week is none other than former University of Georgia All-American and ESPN analyst Matt Stitzcomb. That's Monday night, November the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home. It's the Macon Touchdown Club. We'll see you on Monday night. For more information, just log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com.
Oh my, what a pizza pie! Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Stoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You'll immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily, use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Stoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh every day. Combine all that on the crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie! Stoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where U Park 'em, You Sell 'em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. U Park 'em, You Sell 'em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, U Park 'em, You Sell 'em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's U Park 'em, You Sell 'em, 3306 Vineville Avenue.
Hey folks, every now and then we're a little tight on cash. Well, if you're tight on cash, we want to encourage you to visit Pawn Max Incorporated, located at 2404 Pinona Avenue. Pawn Max is the place to get a loan or sell your valuables, hassle-free, making it easy to turn your unwanted gold, jewelry, tools, even firearms into cash. Why let your pieces collect dust when you need to collect dollars? They're licensed and insured and will give you the best money for your items. Go visit them today at 2404 Pinona Avenue right here in Macon, or visit them online at pawnmaxinc.com. It's football time in Middle Georgia, and that means it's time for the Macon Touchdown Club. Join us this year as we kick off our 72nd year at the Methodist Children's Home at 304 Pierce Avenue each and every Monday night. Come join us for a night filled of football fun and fellowship. We kick it off September the 11th. The Macon Touchdown Club, honoring student athletes since 1946. To find out more, log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com.
Hey folks, it's Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. You know, there comes a time when we all start to look for a brand new or even a newer automobile, and as a consumer, your choices have always been limited as to where to shop, and secondly, what to do with your current car. Take it to the local dealer and trade it in for wholesale, ride around town with that ugly for sale sign in the back window, or park it in your driveway and hope somebody stops by and they're really there to look at your car. Well, that's where the fine folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue in Macon come in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For almost 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the alternative to giving your car away to the local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market the car yourself. The professional staff at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has 35 years of experience in the automobile industry, and they're there solely to help you through the process of selling or buying your next car. If you have a car and you're ready to sell it, let the folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em show you how to maximize your vehicle's marketing and financial potential today. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, the car lot for you. Remember, folks, don't just park it, sell it. Give them a call today, 478-254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em.
Before
I'm pulling double duty here tonight. I'm playing producer as well as everything else. All right, so let's go back to the phones. We got BB Dog on here tonight. Let me grab my
BB
pen.
Dog, man, what's going on? Of course, man.
All right.
What's
All right,
up?
hang on one second. I got to get you out to this large.
Let the old man slow down a little bit so we let him catch up.
The audience in the studio can hear you. All right, what's up? I mean, you've been celebrating all week. You still wearing the same Georgia shirt from Saturday? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're fine, brother. We can hear you good, loud and clear. Hanging out on the dog deck. Have you left the dog yet? Did you even go to work this week? Did you? Or did you just sit there and replay the game every 4 hours nonstop? Well, look, wait a minute now. I may be in Auburn next weekend. I don't know. It all depends on what happens at Texas A&M, and after that, we'll make a decision. But, okay, so let's go back and talk about last week's game and your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
It was over before they made the trip to Jacksonville. I told you how to cure it, to get off that vodka and go with bourbon and lemon. That's what Grandmama said. You'll be right.
A little bit of honey in there.
Look forward to show next week. Everybody's putting you guys next week. But it was, there is still a game with Thompson and all that. Yeah, Halloween came upon us. We were trick-or-treaters. We became number one in the country, but I watched Kirby lose. I don't know if you saw the Paul Feinbaum. I know you don't like it. The dude played the best right on the day. Some kind of reference. Climbing the Himalayas in a plane flight over. I didn't catch on. Next thing I know, Feinbaum's cohort are wearing ski glasses and coats mocking this thing. I need to really find out what that's all about.
Are they talking about, was it an S, or were they talking about Mike Leach or something like that? Maybe, I don't know.
Mike Leach was at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, the old pirate himself, baby. We need him in. Listen, the SEC needs Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin and Bobby Petrino back in it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? Right now, and this is sort of hearsay, it's just comical.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Petrino to Tennessee, Kiffin to Florida, and I'm not sure about the line.
Well, I don't know where Mike Leach would fit in. His personality, not quite to the extreme, is very close to what you had in the guy at Florida, McElwain. Mm-hmm. I met McElwain a few times. He was a happy-go-lucky, kind of loosey-goosey guy. He a little rough with his vocabulary. And that's why I said last week, and I'll say it again this week, I don't care what Florida people tell you, there was more to the firing than the thing about the death threats to him. That just was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and we'll leave it at that. All right, I'm going to let John get in here and talk to you a little bit about what your dogs did last week and what they did what they're going to do this coming week.
Hey, I tell you what, man, I'm proud about our dogs. What I like the most about it, and I know you probably do too, Brett, is I like the coaching that Kirby does, even when we're blowing out a team and players make the wrong mistakes or Fromm did 2 weeks ago, could have took another yard and got a first down and come to the sideline up by 30. He's coaching. I think this guy's coaching 60 minutes of every game regardless of the score. And I think that's the biggest difference that's turned this program around outside of his recruiting.
Oh, there's no doubt. Like you say, he coaches, and I love the way they show him on the sideline.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Scott Boone player, the ball-headed guy.
Yeah.
He has a leash on Kirby. He literally holds Kirby's, I don't know if it's belt or he's got a
yeah, he's got him tight.
yeah, there's tons of pictures on social media where he is restraining him from getting on the field. I love it. This goes back to Dooley. Dooley was crazy nut on the sideline.
Yeah.
Dooley's junkyard dogs now. Kirby's junkyard dogs.
Yeah.
It's fun as heck again. I'm telling you, I'm loving it.
Well, wait a minute.
I love it.
They weren't Dooley's junkyard dogs. Those were Eric Russell's junkyard dogs.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, because I think you have to, Brett. You have to coach that way, because what happens is you get in these tight games as we're starting to hit some of our tougher games. You get in these games, and these guys, it needs to be second nature to them that they know where the first down is. They know how to to do the blocks. They know how to make the proper tackles, because in them games you don't have time to coach them the right way there. So if you get them conformed into what they're supposed to do every single play, and every man has a position, then in the big games they'll make them plays, instead of like we had 6 or 7 years ago when we were playing Alabama and we throw the pass at the 1 yard line with 5 seconds and run the clock out.
Right, and I think that's really crucial. To keep them going forward. They're so focused. They practice. I've not been there in person, but what I hear and read, they practice so hard, especially on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, that when the game comes around, they're ready to go.
Oh yeah, they're mad at hitting each other.
Yeah, it's almost like it's easy because they're so physical.
Yeah, they were in pads in Florida and Jacksonville on Friday, man, for 3 hours.
That's just incredible. I am super excited, and I will always say, to keep my superstitious self going, I'm sitting out here on the dog cook having a little drink, and a cigar.
Hey, not just any dock, but on the Bulldog dock.
Cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic.
Man, they out there every Saturday acting the damn fool after
I'm
these
going to have
ball
to ease
games.
over there one day with them then.
Listen, it's a great setup. They have a lot of fun. All right. So let's.
John needs to come see it today. John needs to see the dog deck, Russell. Can you make it happen?
Yeah, he does need to come see it. We need to make that happen.
He does.
You know, maybe
I'd love to.
Maybe if I go to Auburn next week and I'm not in town, definitely got to come over for the Georgia Tech game. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now that we've relived the greatest game in Georgia history, can we let's focus our attention this week to Jake Bentley and the South Carolina Gamecocks?
I'm a little worried. Munchstamp, of course. Kirby, they go way back. Jake's a good quarterback. Jake is a very good quarterback. I've been watching some stuff on him, but I look back at who they played and what they scored upon them and do our stats, and you think it's going to be a blowout. And that's exactly where these lines come from, which I think's hogwash. Every time we talk, Russ, about what's the line on my Saturday show, who cares about the line? And I agree to it.
Right.
But you look, they barely beat Vandy. I can't remember all Kentucky, Florida. I mean, all the games have been really close, and you would think it would be a blowout, but really not, because it is, and this is going to be funny I say this, Georgia, South Carolina, just like Georgia, Florida. Well, I think it's a season of exercising not that South Carolina's a demon. We've got like a 48-15-1 record against them, but still, they played us close in the last decade or so. They played us very close.
Well, the whole season for me, for South Carolina to make a run at it, they're a really, really young club. As you know, Will Muschamp's had this year or two to build up his recruits, and he's getting some good recruits in there. But when they lost Debo Samuel, the great wideout, who was his number one target, I mean, he went out in game 3 and he had already caught 15 passes for 250 yards. You know, that kind of changed their season. They fell into a little bit of a rut. They seem to have come back a little bit. Obviously, the offensive production's not there that it was at the first couple of games of the season. I don't think their defense can hang in with Georgia for 4 quarters. I think they may push the ball down the field because, as Brett said, the Bentley kid's the real deal.
He's a good quarterback.
I mean, last year he should have last year he should have been in high school as a senior, and he started 6 or 7 games for South Carolina. He's going to get better. He just doesn't have the supporting cast around him. So I think they can score 14, 17 points, most of it through the air on the Georgia defense. Brett, what do you think?
Well, I predict 37-13. Somebody wanted to know what I thought. I said 37-13 dogs. So yeah, you were pretty close there.
John,
I think you're pretty well on it there, Brett. I think what he gets is going to be early, because I think with the passing game, as we know,
Missouri did,
Missouri got out there quick with us for passing, we haven't seen anybody else getting these deep throws on Georgia since then. So he's going to get it. He's going to get it early. I'll say before half he's going to get the 13, and I think they'll get shut out in the second half.
And I think what's going to happen is we may go back. Not to say we're going to do the flea flicker, but I think Chaney's going to, with Auburn, Kentucky, and Tech on the horizon, I think he's going to let Jake throw the football a little bit.
I said that earlier. I believe that that they're going to see because I think Jake can throw it, man. I mean, I know he's going to make some mistakes. He can throw the ball.
He can throw the ball,
and he's going to have to throw it against teams like Auburn and Alabama, because if we're not able to run it as good as we have in these other teams, which we probably won't at the time in the first 2 quarters, he's going to have to throw it, if not anything else, to back up the linebackers, so that he can, we can establish the running game in the second half.
And what's so wild is he's as little as he's thrown the ball. I think he's got like 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, he can throw it. I mean, that pass last weekend in Florida
the
in the corner.
He swims in the corner, man, is perfect. I mean,
and on the outside shoulder, right where it's supposed to be. The guy can do it. They're just not showing it all right now, I don't think.
All right, so here's where Jake Fromm is right now. He's 79 of 128. He's thrown for 1,263 yards. He has got how many touchdowns has he got?
13.
13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 6 sacks on the season. So he's at 61% completion ratio. But like I said, he's only thrown it 128 times. The next closest guy to him is, as far as statistically goes above him, is Danny Etling, who's rated 6th in the SEC. Fromm's rated 10th right now, only behind Kellen Mond. So he's in the top 10 in the throwing. But, you know, as John and you and me and everybody on God's Little Green Earth has said, why in the world do you throw it when you got Michelle and Nick Chubb and the rest of those guys back there? You don't have to throw it.
Yeah, 295 yards rushing, I mean.
Yeah, no, the only game I think you'll have to do that in is I'm suspecting it's going to be Auburn and then Alabama, that they'll have to throw it a little more because they're going to meet the best front sevens they've met all year in those 2 games.
I agree. I'm very, and believe me, I'm not looking ahead that we're going to beat Carolina, but I guess I am because I'm really worried about next weekend going to Auburn. But then again, I mean, my gosh, we haven't lost. The seniors, Chubb and Michelle, have not lost to Auburn. Not to say that matters, but you know, in the road team, let's face it.
No, Chubb was in 13. He would have been a freshman in 13. No, he wouldn't. He wasn't there. That's right. He was not there. He's been in some close games with him, and Auburn shut him down in some games. But the last two Auburn Georgia games probably been the worst 2 I've seen in 40 years of watching those games. But
in the last decade or so, I mean, or even probably further than that, the road team has the better edge. I mean, it's just a crazy series.
Yeah, it's been that way for a while. Yeah, and Russell's the only one that remembers 40 games, with Auburn and Georgia. So we don't know anything about it unless we read it.
All right.
If he doesn't go over there, I can see him coming over here in that road white hat.
The road white hat's done. We're done with that. It lost at LSU. I burned it in the fire pit in the backyard. I'll never wear it again.
Oh my goodness.
I may have to break out the shoes though that were worn at the national championship game.
Lord, here we go.
The tip 6 and the kick 6, and I won. They're 3-0, baby. I won it. No, I'm sorry. They're 3-1. We lost. I won the night of the national championship game in 13, and that's the only game we lost. A game we shouldn't have lost, but once again, we can blame that one on Gus Malzahn. All right, let's move on to the Pick'em contest this week. It's Alabama and LSU. Let me give you some statistics. In the 11 games that LSU and Alabama have played since Nick Saban has been at Alabama. LSU has averaged 15.7 points per game in that series. Alabama has averaged 22 points in that game in that series. There have been a lot of close games. There's been 2 overtime games in that. If you look back at this series, I'm going to go back and do this with you real quick, Brett. The games that since 07, okay, and we're just going to look at those. LSU won 41-34. Alabama won the next year 27-21. Alabama won the next year 24-15. LSU won the next one 24-21. In 11, LSU won 9-6 in overtime. There was the national championship game 5 weeks later. Alabama won 21-0. And if y'all remember that game, it was a 7-point ball game to go into fourth quarter with about 7 minutes left.
Yes, it was.
Then Alabama's reeled off 5 in a row, 21-17, 38-17. How about this in November of 2014, another overtime game, 20-13 Alabama, then 0-15, 30-16 Alabama. Last year in Baton Rouge, Alabama won 10-0. You got 3 overtime games in that series since Nick Saban's been there.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely.
Has old Coach O got her answer for him?
Listen to Coach O, you know me, my
Coach O, baby.
Yeah, Coach O.
So, what do you think? I mean, he's got them playing better, and I think they're buying into his system a little bit.
Here I go against the Lions again because I just look at the paper and I see the Lions. I don't think Bama's going to beat the Lions, man. I'm going to go.
It's 21, isn't it?
Yep, it's 21, and I can't believe we're 24.5. We make up. Coach O, 31. Ooh, this is going to be a shocker. Hold on. 31-21 Bama.
31-21 Bama.
We're pretty close, Brett. I was thinking 33-34. I mean, 33-24. So we're pretty close on what I was thinking.
Yep.
I
think it's going to be a good ball game, and I
It
can't
will.
wait. It's a doubleheader. You know, we're going to play Carolina at 3:30 on CBS, and they're going to follow right after us. I can't wait.
And I think Alabama, Russ, put some points on Brett, too. I think they put that last 7 to 9 points on late going into the fourth quarter.
You know, you look at this series since Nick Saban has been at Alabama, I don't think anybody's played them better than LSU can play them.
There's no question. There's no doubt about it. Because they play year in and year out. We played them that one time in 12, and they broke our hearts at the end of the game, like John mentioned. But, yeah, absolutely.
Well, 0-13 and 0-15 were the two biggest in that series, and Alabama won those 38-17 and 30-16. But the rest of them, even the 21-0 in the national championship game, remember Alabama was leading, I think, 6-0, maybe 7-0 in that game, and the LSU fans were going just batshit crazy because they wouldn't change quarterbacks.
Right.
And there was supposedly a fight in the locker room of LSU. And anyway, LSU refused, Les Miles refused to change his quarterback in the game. And Alabama got a turnover for a touchdown, then a long run maybe by Ingram that year. I can't remember. But it's been a great series. All right, brother, so you can calm down a little bit this week. You got the Gamecocks. I don't think it's going to be much of a game. I'm thinking maybe 38-34, 13-17, something like that. I think Georgia covers the spread or gets really close to it. What is it, 24 in that game?
24.5 today,
Yeah.
24.5.
Yeah, they raised it up a little bit since Monday.
One other thing, and y'all may agree with me on this. I know they're coming back home to Athens, and the place is going to be sky high and all that.
Crazy.
It's going to be crazy, but there is no way that the coaching staff and the players didn't expend a little bit of energy and enthusiasm down in Jacksonville last week. Maybe there's a little bit of that off this week. They still win and win handily, but it wouldn't surprise you if there was a little bit of a emotional letdown on this week.
And can I expand on that?
Yeah.
Friend, can I expand on that? My boy DJ Shockley and Tony Barnhart were on Fire Mama Day, and they were talking about that.
Mr. College Football.
And not only that, man, but when you get the number one ranking, yeah, Kirby's downplayed it. I understand it. I appreciate it.
Yep.
But these kids, they're kids. Do you not think they saw they were number one? And they should be excited.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm excited at 57 years old, for God's sake.
Right.
I mean, Come on.
Yeah, but I think
don't
Kirby
think
finds a way to tone that down. So there'll be a little bit of a letdown in the first period.
Right. I still don't think we're going to lose the game because of any of that. But, I mean,
No.
These kids need to be excited, man. I mean, we haven't been number one since 1982 during the season.
Oh, no. You're right.
1982 during the season.
I'm still going to point out you're number 2 in the AP and the coaches poll.
No, we expect you to point
I
out
don't give a
anything,
rat's
right?
about this.
Brett, can he point out where Auburn is so we know where they at?
Yeah, they're number 14. Number
Okay, all right,
14.
all right.
We've
Well,
lost
just
Now,
checking.
you're 14 in the playoff bowl. I don't know where you are in the AP.
both. It's in the 14. It's the same place in both of them. But
But I hope you wax A&M. Some people lose.
I'm scared to death.
If you get to round number 10, how in the hell does game day not go to Jordan-Hare next week?
They
That's
got
all I
to.
got to say.
Because they're going to wait. I'll tell you why they won't.
They'll go to Auburn.
So
Alabama, Georgia.
if you're game day, this is a big game, and they may show up there. But would you pass up a chance to go to Auburn, Georgia, and Auburn finds a way to beat the Dogs and sets up undefeated Alabama against once beaten in the conference Auburn for the Iron Bowl? There's not a bigger rivalry in the country. Now it's for all the marbles in the West.
Yeah, but you're 2 weeks apart, man. They make those decisions like I think on Sunday maybe.
Yeah,
right after the games.
they're not going to Auburn 2 weekends out of 3. That's not going to
No.
happen. No, they're not.
Brett,
But I
he
think
ain't got
if you
enough
wax
rest yet
A&M,
either.
if you wax A&M and we beat Carolina handily, which we should,
It's going to be huge.
Some people
gonna be
lose.
big.
I think they're going to Jordan-Hare, Bubba.
I do, too.
They may be because you
I
got to
really do.
take the bird in the hand and you can't wait for the one in the bush
bush.
down the road.
At the very worst case, the SEC Nation will be there. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know they're going to be. Okay, so who's the coach at Florida?
Man, I
Lane
have no
Kiffin.
idea. Mullins high on the list. I don't buy into this lane kipping crap.
I don't either.
Bobby Petrino was mentioned for Tennessee. I don't know, man.
I think they want somebody younger than Petrino. I might be wrong.
Probably.
How about Scott Frost from South Florida?
Scott Frost. See, I've got one of Don and I's best buddies who usually comes up here and lives in Gainesville. Is kind of still in shock, and I was telling him about Scott Frost, and of course Charlie Strong's been there. I think Scott Frost is very high on the list. If you want my opinion, I really do.
Yeah, I think
Scott is really high on the list.
I do too, and the guy at Iowa State's kind of gotten hot too with his victories over TCU and Oklahoma. Anything else worth watching this weekend to you?
Man, I don't know. Who else playing them? Was Alabama?
Hey, wait a minute. Here's a big one for you.
Yeah.
That's going to be worth watching, and I think the dream ends this week. Miami and West Virginia.
I think Miami is done.
Yeah.
No, it's Virginia Tech actually. Virginia Tech.
I mean Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think the Mark Richt 7-0 undefeated season.
Hey, we've been through too many of them, Brett. We know how that works, don't we? We know how that works.
I'm not convinced he's got the supporting cast yet down there. Listen, we know the guy can recruit. We know the guy can win 11 games a year.
Well, Russell, Miami will be happy with 10 wins a year.
Man,
in the ACC, you'll be happy with 9-10 wins a year.
Man, let me tell you something. At the
this ain't Florida State. They'll be happy with 10 wins a year.
They ain't happy at the U with what's gone on down there the last 10 years. But, all right. Thank you, brother. It's always good. Dog Deck Live, what time Saturday?
I'm thinking 2 bells.
Hey, Brett, don't let him forget to bring me over there, man. I got to come to the Dog Deck, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. I've got to say my little one cheer at the end. You're going to like it, okay?
All right.
It's great to be a Georgia Bulldog on a Thursday night on DSBN Sports.
There you go, brother.
There you go, brother.
All right, man. Well, 2 o'clock on Saturday on Dog Deck Live, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here in a minute, we're going to take our last time out, and we'll be back.
All right.
Sounds like a winner. We'll be back, folks.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
This just in. A large storm in the Gulf has all but decimated the entire Gulf shrimping industry, with the exception of a lone shrimping boat manned by a legless veteran and a young gentleman that hasn't stopped waving at our cameras or telling us his mama's advice. Odd. In completely unrelated news, Kudzu Seafood Company, the authentic Gulf Coast seafood restaurant that brought the coast to Middle Georgia, has also cornered the shrimp market in Central Georgia. Barbecue shrimp and cheese grits, buffalo shrimp, firecracker shrimp tacos, shrimp po' boys, shrimp burgers, shrimp baskets, and Dr. Pepper, all on 3rd Street in downtown Macon. Stay tuned for more breaking news.
Join us Monday night at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue as the Macon Touchdown Club continues its 72nd season of honoring student athletes. Our program will begin at 6:30 with our dinner soon to follow. Our guest speaker this week is none other than former University of Georgia All-American and ESPN analyst Matt Stitzcomb. That's Monday night, November the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home. It's the Macon Touchdown Club. We'll see you on Monday night. For more information, just log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com.
Oh my, what a pizza pie! Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Stoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You'll immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily, use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Stoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh every day. Combine all that on the crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie! Stoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue.
Hey folks, every now and then we're a little tight on cash. Well, if you're tight on cash, we want to encourage you to visit Pawn Max Incorporated, located at 2404 Pinona Avenue. Pawn Max is the place to get a loan or sell your valuables, hassle-free, making it easy to turn your unwanted gold, jewelry, tools, even firearms into cash. Why let your pieces collect dust when you need to collect dollars? They're licensed and insured and will give you the best money for your items. Go visit them today at 2404 Pinona Avenue right here in Macon, or visit them online at pawnmaxinc.com. It's football time in Middle Georgia, and that means it's time for the Macon Touchdown Club. Join us this year as we kick off our 72nd year at the Methodist Children's Home at 304 Pierce Avenue each and every Monday night. Come join us for a night filled of football fun and fellowship. We kick it off September the 11th. The Macon Touchdown Club, honoring student athletes since 1946. To find out more, log on to MaconTouchdownClub.com.
Hey folks, it's Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. You know, there comes a time when we all start to look for a brand new or even a newer automobile, and as a consumer, your choices have always been limited as to where to shop, and secondly, what to do with your current car. Take it to the local dealer and trade it in for wholesale, ride around town with that ugly for sale sign in the back window, or park it in your driveway and hope somebody stops by and they're really there to look at your car. Well, that's where the fine folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue in Macon come in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For almost 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the alternative to giving your car away to the local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market the car yourself. The professional staff at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has 35 years of experience in the automobile industry, and they're there solely to help you through the process of selling or buying your next car. If you have a car and you're ready to sell it, let the folks at You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em show you how to maximize your vehicle's marketing and financial potential today. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, the car lot for you. Remember folks, don't just park it, sell it. Give them a call today, 478-254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority, now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
This just in. A large storm in the Gulf has all but decimated the entire Gulf shrimping industry, with the exception of a lone shrimping boat manned by a legless veteran and a young gentleman that hasn't stopped waving at our cameras or telling us his mama's advice. Odd. In completely unrelated news, Kudzu Seafood Company, the authentic Gulf Coast seafood restaurant that brought the coast to Middle Georgia, has also cornered the shrimp market in Central Georgia. Barbecue shrimp and cheese grits, buffalo shrimp, firecracker shrimp tacos, shrimp po' boys, shrimp burgers, shrimp baskets, and Dr. Pepper, all on 3rd Street in downtown Macon. Stay tuned for more breaking news.
Join us.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Hey folks.
And welcome back to DSBN Sports Radio. Russell Deese, John Corson.
All right, so we're back here live. I had to go run the computer, man. What's the problem here? All right.
We're a two-man operation, Russ.
Yeah, we are a two-man operation. All right, so we're back live here now. Let's go back to the phones and get one more call in before we get out of here tonight. And we've got none other than the famous Jim Harden with us, who's going to tell us about the Auburn Tigers and the Blue Hose.
The Blue Hose.
How you doing there, Jim?
Thinking about going down to the Pioneer League. They'll probably be playing Wesleyan next year. But
yeah, but Wesleyan's line's bigger.
right. I'm down here in South Georgia. I had to go down to Douglas, Georgia today. I'm in the bowels of South Georgia down here and all the cotton fields. So if
well, they're probably picking that now, Jim. They're probably picking it. They are in Perry, Georgia.
They are.
All right, so your thoughts about last week. I mean, let's start with Georgia and Florida. What did you think about the Dogs' performance down at the cocktail party?
They look great, man. I think they could probably beat the 72 Dolphins, the 85 Bears.
I'm with you.
Well, obviously, Florida has some big problems. I don't know. Russell, you and I have talked about it. I don't know. When it's all said and done, everybody will look back and we'll kind of see who the good teams were. But I just don't think I think the SEC's weak. I think nationally, I don't think there are a lot of great teams, which gives Georgia a great opportunity where they are. But, I mean, Florida was just real. That was just terrible. More power to Georgia for jumping on them and putting them away. But, it's going to be, I don't know, Georgia might end up losing 2 games and, finish very high in the rankings, and we still don't really know how good they were. So I don't know. But they got an opportunity right now. They certainly can beat anybody they got left on their schedule.
Yeah, and like you said, Jim, too, the Florida team, we're all, even me as a Georgia fan, we know that's pretty much a Division II program right now with the suspensions, the situation they're having, what they have with the coaching and the players and, and all that. So, I think me personally, I know a lot of Georgia fans, and I'm a big Georgia fan, but I know a lot of fans are all hyped about it. But, that's not a game to me to gauge on what our team is. If you want to gauge it, there's other teams, Notre Dame, who's beat a lot of teams. I'm not even going to say that's a great way to judge us or to gauge us. But, I think Georgia's doing what they have to do right now. I think Kirby Smart's implementing the things that you have to implement in Georgia as far as, playing every down and everybody manning up. But I'm like you. I think Auburn, Alabama is, I think certainly Auburn, first of all, is going to be a big test for us because their front seven. I know people say, well, they lost to this one, lost to that one. But still, they've got a great team, and it's never easy to go to Auburn and play them, even though in that series the road team seems to have somewhat of an edge. But nevertheless, I'm like you. After the Auburn game and their performance and how that turns out, I'll have a little bit more understanding as far as what I feel as far as the team. As a fan, yeah, I'm great. I appreciate the number 1 ranking on the playoffs and all that, but I don't get a lot of hype on that, especially from over the years. It's been since 1980. I'm a fan, but look, 1980 was the last time we won a national championship game. So I think we have players. I think they're doing the right things. I think Kirby's definitely building the right thing with the program. But I'm not going to say that that we're the best team in the country by no far. I'm not going to say we're in the top 2 in the country. I feel like we have the players that can be there as long as our freshman quarterback, because at some point he's going to have to start opening up the game, throwing more, and I believe in him. I called a lot of his games with Russell in high school. I believe in him throwing. I know it's different between high school and college, but I think the kid can do it. But nevertheless, their big test is going to be when they go to Auburn. This weekend they're playing a great quarterback with South Carolina that has a good quarterback, and I think he'll put some points up early. But it's still a little too early, man, to really get super excited.
Hey, Russell, you know why that South Carolina quarterback's such a great player, don't you? Because his daddy was a blue hoe.
Yeah, that's right. His daddy was a blue hoe. He's the real deal. He lost Deebo Samuel, and that kind of hurt their season and what they could do offensively.
That crippled him, Ross.
Oh, that hurt their offensive production. Although they seem to have found a little bit of a running game, and he's finding some other receivers now. I see that a 38-14, 13-17 Georgia win. I think Georgia will come down a little bit emotionally this week, even though they're back home. I just think that's going to happen. But I don't know. All right, so let's look away to this week's games. Auburn and Texas A&M. Bad news out of Auburn. Cam Petway, Gus Malzahn's got him playing kickoff team with 40-point lead with 7 minutes left in the game. When the guy finally gets healthy, I'm so furious about that I could scream. But your thoughts about Auburn and A&M? A&M just kind of they kind of fell off the leads last week. They just got smoked.
Well, I didn't ever think Coach Dooley was a great coach, but he never put Herschel on the kickoff team. I tell you.
Right, that's right.
But I don't know, man. I think that might have been photoshopped. You sure that was real? He really did that?
He really did that.
Yeah, his shoulders messed up.
52-13. He's on the kickoff team with 7 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the ball game. I don't know. They go down to Texas A&M. Do they handle them this week at College Station?
Well, logic would tell you that they got a really good chance to win. I mean, what does that mean? They're on the road. I couldn't believe what happened to A&M last week. I mean,
right.
I just can't understand that. I'm just kind of baffled by it. But
well, Mississippi State's kind of righted the ship a little bit too.
Yeah, they have, but I don't know. I mean, I just A&M's. I guess coming back home, they'll had a big hit. If they're any, they just hadn't completely. If they don't just completely throw in the towel, you think they'd play good coming off a loss like that? But I don't know. It's hard to. That's really hard to know. Auburn. Who knows how they're going to play? I mean, I'd like to think with the off week, they're going to come out and they're going to finish the season strong. This will be the first game in a hopefully, 3 good ones. But gosh, I mean, how can you have any faith in that? The way things have been with them.
All right, so now our pick'em contest is Alabama and LSU. I look back on this, Jim. John and I were just talking about this. Since Nick Saban's been there, this will be game 11. Alabama's won 3. They played 11 games. Alabama's won 3, won 8. LSU's won 3. But 3 of those games have gone to overtime in that series. That's hard to believe in a Nick Saban era. Is there a team that's played Alabama better since Nick Saban's been the coach for the Crimson Tide than LSU? I can't name one.
No, I tell you, we talk about it all the time. I mean, LSU's just got athletes, and they can. I think that's the thing. I mean, Alabama's, Nick Saban's a good coach. He's a great recruiter. I mean, they got athletes, and that's why they beat people. They got better players. And LSU, when you, in a lot of spots on the football field, they're just as athletic.
Yeah,
they might not be overall as good a team, but I think that allows them to challenge them. It has allowed them to, challenge them and stand toe-to-toe with them a little bit sometimes. And who knows, they might do it again Saturday.
All right, so give me your prediction of this one. This is for the pick'em contest. You need to get on board, brother. You've been close a couple times this year. You need to get in on these prizes we're giving away this year. So give me the winning pick this week, Alabama and LSU.
Yeah, I'm a contrarian. I'm not going to go 3-2. That one year Auburn got beat 78-1 by Alabama, and they kicked the extra point and missed a touchdown. But I think I'm thinking Bama 28, LSU 17.
All right, let me see if anybody else has got that. Alabama 28.
Nope.
I've got 28-3, 28-10.
You got 41-17, so he's good with that.
28-17. 28-17. Your boy Kemper picked it 28-9.
So, am I good?
You're good.
You're good.
You're good at 28-17. All right, I can't let you get out of here without saying happy birthday to my buddy Hardwood Harden.
Hardwood Harden, Davis Harden, one of the greatest centers in the history of high school football. Turned 21 today, but I hope he takes it easy. I pulled in a place down in Douglas, Georgia. The guy, old-timey place, guy pumping my gas. He started talking about his brother-in-law. He said his brother-in-law was a drunk. Said he got so drunk one time he called in sick to a place he didn't even work.
All right, so Davis, man, it's hard to believe Davis is 21 years old.
Man. And
he is a junior at the loveliest village on the plains in Auburn, Alabama.
He is, and he's going to be heartbroken if they can't get it done against the Dogs.
All right, brother. Well, I wished him happy birthday today on Facebook. And
yeah, happy birthday to him.
You do the same.
He appreciates that, man. He loves you. Thank you.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you next week, and then we got you down for 28-17 Bama over the Bayou Bengals.
All right, War Eagle. See you.
All right, brother. All right, so some pretty good picks. We got some more to come in still. We'll get them later on. All right, John, good show. Final thoughts on this weekend. Looking around, I guess the three biggest games are going to be, even though that Miami-Virginia Tech game is going to be big, but in the Southeastern Conference, you got to look at Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, LSU, and Auburn, Texas A&M.
Yeah, I tell you, I think you know, and I agree with Harden on the LSU. I mean, they've had a lot of talent every year, Russ. They have a lot of talent there, and they just haven't quite been able to put it together all the time. But you know, I think that game's even closer than what some people are thinking. And you know, I think for Georgia, they just got to come out and do what they've been doing all year. They're going to be some hypes. They're going to be a little let down, and they might even be a little bit soft in the first quarter and a half. But I think Kirby will get them guys back in check, and you know, I look for Auburn. I look for Auburn to win. Obviously, I look for Alabama to win. I think that game will be closer than even 28-17. Some people probably think that's crazy. They probably think it's going to be bigger than that. But, you know, traditionally, if you look at Alabama, man, the one thing, and I know Texas A&M got blowed out last week, but Texas A&M earlier in the season, it didn't show last week, had a little bit above average defense. And when they played Alabama, I think it was 24-10 or whatever it was. So it was a closer game, especially till the end, because Alabama put on 7 points in the last 6 minutes of the game. So it was a closer game. But I really, as a Georgia fan, I want to see, us go ahead and handle business like we should this weekend, because that's been our problem in the years past. We've lost against teams we shouldn't have lost to.
Right.
And we were able to beat some teams we maybe shouldn't have beat. So we need to handle this game this weekend. But I look to really get a big gauge on Georgia is when we go and play Auburn.
Well, that's going to wrap it up here from Stoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. We'll be live tomorrow night. Don't forget the Stoner's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. We'll fly over to the Eagles' Nest at Stratford Academy as Mark Farabah and the Stratford Eagles try to finish out the season with a perfect 10-0 record. It's the crossover in the region game. They'll be taking on 6-3 Aquinas, and Stratford is 9-0. So a big night live from the Eagles' Nest tomorrow night. We'll get on the air at 7:15. Kickoff will be 7:30, and it'll be another exciting Friday night of football. We've had 3 great games in a row. I expect another one tonight. That's going to do it. We'll see everybody next Thursday night. See you live tomorrow night from the stadium for the Stoner's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. That's going to do it here at Stoner's tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night and next Thursday night. Our time is up. We thank you for yours.